When you set out on this journey, Madhura, especially when you decided you're going to go ahead with Aspire for Her, your idea was to get women back in the three E's. But how did you put your first steps out there, and how did you look around for support? What exactly did you tell the world around you, and who were there holding your back?
Well, I think the first place that I went to was my XLRI girls group. And I said, this is what I'm planning to do. This is very different from what women's empowerment pieces that we see all around us. What do you guys think about it? And all my friends jumped up and said, this is exactly what we need. We want to give back at this point in time, and we don't know how to, we don't know where to. So we'd love for you to do this. So I got a little encouraged, and I started sort of working on putting the pieces together around Aspire for Her. Uh, at that point in time, our piece was very simple. We wanted to get women into the economy, and I didn't really have too much of a clue as to how exactly I would be able to do that. So, unfortunately or fortunately, and you will be speaking about COVID, I know. Unfortunately or fortunately, at that time, 8th of March 2020 is when we launched. So I was in Boston at that point in time, and I had just flown in because I wanted to spend the spring break with my daughter. At that time, the pandemic was just about taking its first steps, and you're wondering what this whole thing is it really even something to worry about? Little did we know that it would bring the world to its knees for so many months together. And I was creating all the websites, and I was approving all the creatives, etc., on the flight. So I was using the Wi-Fi on the flight to actually sort of approve on all the stuff that Aspire for Her was doing. And we landed. And on 8th of March, we launched Aspire for Her, which was a multi-country launch, if you like. So my friends from various different parts of the world, they logged in. And I think it was 6 p.m. India time, and we just launched it. Uh, and My daughter serendipitously was with me at that point in time, and she said, uh, let's sort of put out a little form so that everybody who's interested in joining Aspire for Her also comes and joins the community. And I said, that's a great idea, and she did that. She put out that form, and the next day at breakfast, she says, you know what, we've got only 10 people who have logged in and who joined in, and they all seem to be my friends. I said, thank you. Please say thank you to your friends. And a lot of her friends actually came, and over the next few days we realized that a lot of her friends, people around her age, were going through a very difficult time because their colleges were shutting down, their exams were getting cancelled, their all their plans were getting postponed, and they were in a very, very sort of a ambiguous and a sort of a very difficult juncture in their lives. And A lot of them then said, hey, we want to help you. We want to help you build Aspire for Her. So the first team of Aspire for Her that I had was my daughter and her friends. So in fact, the head of content was one of our friends called Anusha Subramaniam. Anusha was one of the youngest authors of India. She wrote her first book when she was 12. And we had a bunch of our other friends who were heading the different departments, and the girls felt very good, and that they were all getting important portfolios at Aspire for Her, and they did an absolutely brilliant job for the first few months. Soon after that, we realized that there were people across the globe who truly wanted to be part of the movement. And we soon found that there were women from 60 different countries who signed up at Aspire for Her, and, who wanted to just walk with us on our journey. So that was my daughter's sort of contribution to get it started. And then after that, we had a lot of volunteers. We had a lot of folks who got to hear about us on social media and elsewhere, and they came in and said, we'd love to be with you, we'd love to help you, we'd love to walk the talk with you. And that's how it very organically it grew. So yes, that was a role that my daughter had to play, but my mother had to play a role, which was actually even before this. So when I was looking at the data, and I was saying somebody needs to do something about this problem. And how come India is absolutely at the bottom in terms of economic participation of women? Uh, and, my mother heard me sort of moaning and, complaining about this. And she asked me, so who should do something about it? You want the government to do something, you want society to do something, you want the organizations to do something, you want the corporate world to do something. What are you doing about it? And I said, okay, I get it. Thank you, as always. And that's how both my mother and my daughter had a very important role to play in the setting up of Aspire for Her.
Wow. One was the reason for setting it up. The other made sure that you took the first steps forward to make sure that Aspire for Her really had life breathed into it. And then on, as you moved forward, now when COVID hit, a lot of us were in a state of shock. And here you were launching such a big dream of yours, and COVID hit. Uh, it was like you're going to take it one step at a time. Okay, my daughter's friends have signed up, so we'll work with them first and then take it forward. Nowhere did you stop and say, should I relaunch it again after things get better? Nothing like that.
No, I never had that. I never had that feeling because I felt COVID was a boon to us because all of these youngsters who were sort of feeling a lot of pain, feeling a lot of anxiety at that point in time, they decided that they wanted to convert their pain into purpose. And, we would have never got their bandwidth, their undivided time and attention had it not been for COVID, because they would have been busy doing 10,000 other things with their lives. And here they were holed up at home, not able to even complete classes, not knowing what's going to happen next in terms of examinations and semesters starting or not starting. Many of them were taking a gap year because they realized that it was just so uncertain. The world was so uncertain. So that's how I actually got a lot of brilliant minds to work with us and to sort of design the first few steps of Aspire for Her. And that's the reason why I think COVID turned out to be very interesting for us. And it turned out to be a boon. We had never foreseen that boon, but it did turn out to be a boon for us in many different ways.
Wow. Madhura, I really believe in the power of positivity. And I believe optimism is something that helps you see a bigger picture than what is visible immediately. And it's very clear you are exactly the epitome of both optimism and positivity to just see how to take it forward rather than take a step back. Now you moved, these youngsters came in, everything just fit in like a team. And as you moved further, once things started slowly getting back to normal, how did Aspire for Her grow? And what exactly was the journey? The three E's, how did they come into play?
So, like I said, I'm notorious for models and structures. So we do have a mindset change model, which we sort of came up with. And, that's stolen from a much more famous formula. It's called E cubed is equal to MC cubed. E cubed, do you know what it stands for? The three E's of employment, entrepreneurship, and education, which leads to one of these two. And M, C, C, and C are the four critical success factors. And we have not wavered from this model from day one of our existence. M is for mentors and role models. And, we have more than 250 women leaders who walk with us on this journey, who do one-to-one and one-to-many mentorships at Aspire for Her, because 4 out of 5 girls in India have no successful, relatable, professional woman role model in their immediate network. The next pillar is C, and we call it courses, cohorts, and learning. Here we work on skilling, upskilling, and reskilling women for the jobs of tomorrow's India. And whether it's Amazon or Google or LinkedIn or IBM, etc., we have partners like this who are brilliant in their own vision of wanting to attract more diversity to the talent pools. And we've been very fortunate in getting their support in this. The third pillar is what we call career previews and resources. That's another C. And this is where we celebrate women and their careers. So if you see our social media every day, we have a celebratory story of either a woman leader or a woman who's undertaken some kind of a perilous journey or has overcome many challenges and adversities to actually get to her career. All our success stories are about women and their careers because we are very, very focused on the economic participation of women. And the last C is community. And you know that our community motivates each other, elevates each other, and also tries to find solutions creatively and collectively. We today have 16 communities. We have about 250,000 members, mentors, and supporters at Aspire for Her. And these 16 communities are unique in their own different ways. So we work on a particular agenda with each community. It could be around women in technology, and that's with Amazon and Google and IBM. It could be around women returning to the workforce. And, we have more than 25,000 women who are wanting to return to the workforce, and we're working with multiple organizations to make that happen. So the model that we have sort of created has been welcomed not only by our members, but also by the corporate and the institutional world. And that's what we love about the journey of Aspire for Her, because we know that it's kind of universal. It has an appeal not only for the members who are part of the community and who want to get back into the workforce or get into the workforce, but also for the corporates who are desperate for diversity and who want to welcome more women into the workforce. So it's a sort of a beautiful flywheel that we see emerging every day, and that motivates us, that energizes us every day.